Dr. Athens, thank you so much for coming back on. This is your second time.
It is my second time. And so I had such a good time the first time. I wanted to come back.
Well, you wrote a book, since
Yeah, in the
then, which is
meantime, yeah.
great.
hmm
I love that. Why the title, To Health with You? What made you come up with that?
One thing after 42 years of practice, Casper, you learn you don't want to tell people what to do. You guide them to where you want them to go.
Yep.
And so I wanted it to be a book where I'm holding their hand. I'm taking it into the mindfulness room. I'm holding their hand into the flexibility room. I'm holding their hand into the high intensity interval training and the accountability room. I'm kind of holding their hand, showing them why they need to do this for aging and longevity. So I felt a good title was to kind of take the pun of the other term, health with you. And so kind of I'm guiding you to better health and to get to perk them up to say when they see the book on newsstand or they see it out on Amazon, which it is now, is
Mm.
to say, well, okay, what's this about? And then you put a quarterback quote on there and you put a little heart on there to have it attractive and you have and talk about mind and body solutions. And pretty much that's how simple you have to keep it.
Well, let's be honest, Dr. Athens. It's not just a quarterback. We're talking about
Yeah,
Joe Montana on
that's
the
right.
cover here I'm
Yeah.
reading, right? If
Yeah.
you're looking to take control of your health and transform your life, use this book as your ultimate playbook. Joe Montana, I mean, one
Yeah.
of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, debatable, if not the greatest. But you got your start working with the 49ers,
Yep.
where I loved reading that whole beginning part of it of how you started, got into chiropractic, and then had these players in the 80s and 90s. You helped them win a number of championships back then, one of the greatest, dynasties in football ever. And but one of the things that really resonated with me was this fact that as much as you helped the players, the medical team for the 49ers still sort of dismissed you for a bit there.
Yeah, starting out, Casper, as a chiropractor, you come out of school and you graduate, and you say, okay, well, it's time to start a practice, right? The world owes me a practice. I educated myself. I took a loan out. I paid for my education, and now it's time for the world to give me a practice. No, that was a perception, fantasy. That was not reality. So in essence, you realize, okay, now have to learn to hunt and fish in the woods, pretty much, right? And you have to kind of get good at it. You have to figure it out. And so one thing it taught me is to, instead of a physical callus, build a mental callus. And so as a
Mm,
result of that, you learn how to battle and you learn how to be in the trenches and you learn how to be in the foxhole in the street fight and learn how to battle. And you kind of figure, well, a healthcare provider shouldn't have to do that. He's got a degree on the wall. Well, in 42 years of practice, no one has ever asked me my GPA. They never asked me anything about my education. All they asked me was, hey, can you help my shoulder? Can you help my neck? Can you help my back? Can you help my health? And so I realized, just like sports, if you take sports and put it to life, it's all about performance. You're
yes.
going to get, Yelp reviews. People are going to refer to you. They're not going to refer to you. So you got to be really good. You have to master your trade, and you can't be bored with mastery. You have to master fundamentals. If you
Mm.
master, I figured if I mastered my skill and I could be really, really great at the fundamentals of adjusting and teaching people lifestyle choices, I can give them better results, and people are looking for that. So through the athletes, it was great because they promoted it. And as a result of that, they promoted it, and then people said, "Well, Jesus, if Joe Montana's doing it, I don't need science behind it. I just Joe's doing it, or Tom Brady's doing it, right?" So,
Yeah.
and as a result of that, people get a chance to say, and well, he goes works on the team, and even though I was independent of the team, they thought I was a team doc. But with all the publicity they gave to the news media as a result of it, um, you're able to get all these referrals from that one Super Bowl story, which is in the book.
Mhm.
And then from all those people that came in, I was getting after the Super Bowl on the pregame show. As I said, I was getting 50 to 60 new patients a month. It was kind of, whoa, I need to kind of have other docs. I can't help all these people. But then you figure after a while, what am I learning from these people? What's bringing them in? I'm a last resort doctor. I'm profiting off a system here that says I'm a quack and I'm a pseudoscience. I'm not a real doctor. And how is this? They're all coming in, so I better perform and I better make plays and I better get them well and teach them. And if I taught them, then they would refer even more business. And I could kind of start proving a system that said I wasn't that great into, wow, well, I challenge the system now and say, well, geez, are you as good as you're saying you are? I have to perform, and that's how I have to learn to hunt and fish in the woods. And you're kind of having going to school, an employee in the system, and that's how you make your living. And all these patients are given to you. I had to earn these patients, and to earn the patients, it's a different level of performance than just going to work, working a shift and having the patient there for you. It's another level of performance, and I have to be locked in. I call it, locked in. When I go to the office every day, you have to kind of perform like an athlete on the court. And if you want, the reason Tiger Woods and the Steph Currys and all these great athletes over time get crowds to see them, because they perform. They're performers on a regular basis, and they're consistent with their performance. So why not do that as a healthcare professional? You could perform on a regular basis in the office, teach people those lifestyle choices, educate them, get them out of their discomfort and their pain as a last resort. Then you're going to get referrals, and now you're building this practice of your dreams that starts escalating, and then you get so busy and you learn from so many people, and you could write a book. So in essence, now I feel like I'm a channel of all this information of over 750,000 patient visits, and kind of now I gave a jigsaw puzzle to the world of what I learned from all these people that were coming in. And that's the whole premises of the book is, how can I change people's lives? So the best text I got was not too long ago, a few weeks ago, from someone in Wisconsin, and said, Dr. Athens, I gave your book to my mom, and it changed her life, and it's great. You could put something out there that is that changed someone's life that we care about. So it touched me, because it was like, hey, you know what? Now I could take all the information I've learned and share with other people and change lives on people I will never meet. And that's power. That's impact to me. That's making plays as an athlete, right? So that's the ultimate. And so my goal is constantly, and I'm 65 now, doing 42 years, I still have the mindset of, making plays and coming in the office and performing on a regular basis. So I take care of myself on a regular basis to do that.
Yeah, no, it's such a paradox in medicine that the people that get results outside of the conventional world are still labeled quacks and have so much skepticism about them because, they turn to this unscientific type of approach or whatever it is they say, but the results speak for themselves. And people see past that after a while because they're not getting results the other way. It should really be the other way where, medicine on a more conventional basis should be what you do, more of the integrative approach. And alternatively, you should then only use drugs and surgery. It should be the alternative to what you should start with, which is chiropractic, more energy medicine, lifestyle changes, a lot of these things you listed in the book. But we still live in a little bit of a reverse world with the sick care health system and not a real health care system that cares about health.